Vou até ver aqui umas outras habilidades do Titan. Tem uma que é esse monte de soco aqui, ó. Tem um passo à frente e um ataque com uma sequência de socos em alta velocidade. Bloquear o ataque de um inimigo com um passo à frente aumenta a potência dos socos seguintes. Ok, tem como você dar um parry e vários socos. Como você dá um soco, eu acho, na hora que ele for atacar, tá ligado? Deixa eu ver se é isso mesmo. Entendi muito bem, não. Ou é quando você ativa, ele dá vários socos. Dá pra eu botar no lugar desse daqui, ó. Eu tenho usado bastante até o parry da mão, né? Só que esse porradão aqui em área também é show, mano. Bamba. Esse aqui é legal, mas é mais. Ele é bom pra quando os malucos jogam um projétil na gente. Papara, papapa. Vou deixar do jeito que tá mesmo. Mas vou ficar com o Titan, tá ligado? Acho que é melhor. Opa! Tem coisa nova ali, hein? Opa, valeu pela adesa, Zaxxon.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Is everything we've received?
1635. Um desempenho adequado. Nathalie relata que as lojas de Dali Mil estão com estão com excedente inesperado. Eu acho que é essa a palavra. E para mostrar como a cidadã é grata pelo auxílio no passado, expressou seu desejo profundo de dividir suas riquezas com um certo Lorde Supremo, Victor. Vamos pegar Ferrovo 20, Cinzas Mágicas 50, Belicita 50 e 2.500 pontos de habilidade, cara. Coisa linda, hein? Agora a gente precisa de 1965. Nossa senhora. Caralho, preciso de 320 pontos. É ponto com força, cara.
All done?
É ponto com força, meu irmão. O quadro de caçada continua o mesmo, praticamente. E nada de liberar essa área aqui, velho. Cruz credo, mano. Não, não é nela, não. É com ele, ó.
Clive.
Clive.
Anything catch your eye?
Sob nova direção. Caralho. Mano, muita sidequest, hein? Vamos fazer essa daqui sob nova direção?
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago. Those things I said before.
Igual o bichão que eu mandei lá no grupo do Discord. Da hora, Naponoso. Legal, mano. Não. Pô, só deu uma pegada essa frase aqui, né? Posso mostrar aqui na live? Pode? Foda é. Tipo, essa frase aqui deu uma pegada. Líder profissional, líder mundial em lubrificantes. É isso mesmo? Lubrificantes para motos, trens e outros afins, né? Da hora, Napoloso. Braba foto. Ficou legal pra caramba, mano. Pra entrar lisinho, pra ir com clean do clean, né, mano? Pra ir no clean. Tá certo. Vambora, mano. Vambora.
So many were injured.
Pô, vou lá pegar uma aguinha, mané. Minha água tá acabando aqui, mano. E aí, Isabelle?
Oh, Clive. What am I to do? My wards and I may soon be without a home.
What's happened?
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne and taken up residence here in Northreach.
The High Cardinal?
Leader of the Council of Elders, second only to his radiance at the head of the Imperial government. Not that any of those things still exist. Now he goes by his noble title.
And what does he want with Northreach?
He wants to transform it into a military strong, a foundation upon which to build a new Sambrek.
Caralho.
Already secured the support of the various army remnants, with promises that they shall be afforded the respect they deserve in his empire. One built on the...
He would rob the populace to pay for it.
Believe me, I have used every means of persuasion to discourage him from this folly. But for whatever reason...
What does Captain Philippe make of this? When the town was under attack, it was him the soldiers rallied around. Couldn't he use that influence again?
How? By speaking out against one of them, a man whose stated aim is to revive the empire Philippe's comrades swore to serve, and to improve the soldiers' lot within it. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel, and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. The Duke offers them a vision of strength and safety. No.
Jogando Raid West com a live no celular. Medo sentirei, todos nós sentimos, mano. Eu sinto o tempo todo. A gente nunca sabe quando um louco vai chegar mandando um Dragon Ball, um trem, um John Cena, tá ligado? Pode ser a qualquer momento, em todo lugar.
Least of all when it serves only to elevate others.
And who could blame them?
Clive, would you
Sinto, Zazaki, ou se sinto.
look on my behalf? For your services to Northreach, you have the respect of the soldiers, and unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty prevent you from speaking your mind. Well, will you try?
Verei o que posso fazer.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Clive.
Tell me then, where will I find this Duke of Oriflamme? In the garrison?
Overseeing the troops, yes.
All right.
Bora, sob a nova direção. Seu pau na minha mão. Digo. Vamos lá.
I may have met this Duke before.
Fale com o Duque de Oriflamme na guarnição.
Hope I didn't make a strong impression.
Peladeio, Zazaki. Já era, o Zazaki pegou o time, filho. Esqueça tudo. Aranha escamado. Escamou a dedo do aranha, filho.
Halt. Oh, sorry about that. You're the dame's man, aren't you?
Sim.
You got some business with the captain?
No, actually. With the Duke, I was hoping I might be able to speak with him.
We're under orders not to let any civilians pass. But you should be all right. His Eminence has heard all about you and your heroics. Wait here. I'll go.
So, you are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison, and I shall see it repaid. But tell me, Is it wealth that you seek, or favor?
Neither, Your Eminence. I thought only to inquire about your plan to turn Northreach into a stronghold.
Ah, you are worried the expanded garrison will render your services redundant. Yet you won't be.
Nem é isso.
Proud fighting man like yourself shall always pride of place, in fact. For too long has the contribution of the... but no more. For it is they who shall see the Holy Empire rebuilt, beginning right...
Why here, Your Eminence?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely unscathed from the recent troubles. Her defenses are sound, and which is more than can be said for Oriflamme or Twinside. The Empire wants for a capital, and I believe Northreach to be the perfect place. With Caer Norvant,
Tô num tesão de andar na pista de novo, o moleque ficou viciado, fodeu.
to the refortification of both the town and the castle,
O cara vai querer ir todo final de semana.
to create a
Ou uma vezinha por mês.
the envy of the plans are already underway for soon enough. These thralls shall learn that they are no...
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force, you will need all the people of Northreach to come together in defense of the town. Something they may be loath to do if they've been deprived of their worldly good.
The people will do as their leaders command. If Sandbreck is to be rebuilt, she will require a functioning...
O cara quer confiscar o bem de todo mundo, quer que todo mundo
That is why this levy
responda a ele.
so that any man
Faça tudo que ele mandar.
in the army might do so and be fed, outfitted and paid as befits. And yet there are those who persist in peddling the treasonous lie that I seek...
I suspect they're afraid of losing what little they have left.
Precisely. The common folk have little and less, and you mean to deprive them of even that. You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salted earth.
Sabine, we have
Folgadaço.
this.
Yes, and I told you then how putting the empire before her citizens would lead only to revolt.
Without an empire, there are...
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
Do not take her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later.
Eu volto mais
Citizens
tarde.
revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan. It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose.
Vamos perguntar pra galera.
With those on the other side of the wall.
As long as you remain, the veil is...
Perele plano. Perele plano.
You needn't fret. The creatures. There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
Taverneiro.
Right there. What is it you're...
Just your opinion, actually. I wondered what you thought of it.
Not much. None of us. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop this side of the wall in the first place. Couldn't have the rabble getting any closer to the holy capital, could they? And now he's trying to drive us out completely, threatening to take everything we got from us if we don't clear off. If the dame said she wanted him run out of town, I'd be straight through that checkpoint, tar bucket in hand.
Beleza. Grisalho, pau no grulho.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about a certain Duke.
Nothing good, I'll wager. Going around acting like he owns the place. And with hardly a word to the dame. This is her town, not his.
I take it you'd rather she was in charge.
As far as I'm concerned, she just need his eminence to sod off.
Why?
Falar com o homem dos estábulos dos chocobos. Guardião dos chocobos.
A question, if you don't mind. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
Don't get me. You build a life for yourself somewhere, earning for some noble to turn up and tell you you've got to hand it all over to him. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, he's in for a... We'll do whatever it takes to keep what's ours. Whatever it takes.
Boa.
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers?
Essa galera aqui é os cidadãos de fora, né? Agora ele quer que a gente fale com os cidadãos de dentro. Tá, vamos lá.
Those things I said before.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the Duke of Oriflamme.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies coming in. I mean, look around us. You can see the state, though. The traders might not like having the screws put on them. But if they volunteered a few more of their hard-earned gil before things got bad, maybe they wouldn't have to. I think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the Empire is the best way of making sure we're all protected. And if that means people who don't know one end of a sword from another have to make way for those who do, well, that's just how it goes.
Ok. Vamos lá. Tem que atravessar aqui. Hey, my brother.
You're the one who was talking to His Eminence.
On the Dame's behalf, yes. I was trying to persuade him not to take the people's goodwill for granted, but it seems my words fell on deaf ears. What do you think of his plans?
I'm a soldier, mate. He tells me what to do, not the other way. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for the Dame, but that's where my loyalties lie. Not with the town or the Empire, but with my wife and children. If the Duke can get us cement and the equipment we need to fight off those blue-skinned bastards, I don't care how we...
Caralho, ok, é isso.
Sabine, you are embarrassing me.
You're embarrassing yourself.
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into some sort of fortress. Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not for me to say. All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise, His Eminence's word is... Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs, but empires don't come for free. Once Sandbreak is back on her feet, we'll all reap the benefits.
Tá. É, pontos de vista diferentes, né? Fale com o Felipe. Ué, Filipão! Cadê ele? Ali.
Captain.
For you? Certainly. Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of Oriflamme. Do you intend to go along with his plan?
But to tell you the truth, it's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey his orders. But I can't say...
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved.
That's right. I did.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either. She thinks they could tear Northreach apart.
É, filha-aranha.
And she's probably right.
Zazak tá com time.
I know what I needed. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Well, duty calls. Thanks again.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that, if nothing else.
Beleza. Volte a falar com Isabelle. Isabel.
Ah, Clive. How did you... Were you able to speak?
I was.
Consegui, mas... Esse mais que é foda.
So Northreach is to be a fortress after all. Well, It will certainly help to hold back the thralls. There's no denying. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople whose worldly goods are confiscated to pay. They deserve to be heard, Clive. To have a say in this new empire the Duke means to build.
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their opinions, and hopes to reassert the authority of the... I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard to be sacrificed for the greater good. Needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion, and would rather their destinies were in your hands. The soldiers, meanwhile, are content to follow their orders, and not just because of the Duke's rank, but because of his vision.
I thought as... Had I sworn to protect Sambrack? I dare say I too would want nothing more than to see it rise from the ash. Thank you for trying. But the battle...
I don't know about that.
Opa!
What happened to your uniform?
I handed it in, along with my resignation.
Eita, o cara renunciou o cargo.
I wished them well, but that I owe it to those I love to call it a day. Because I realize what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for the sake of it, but protecting what I care about. Protecting Northreach. I honestly don't know when those monsters will return, but I'm certain they're not finished with us yet. And when they do come back, we need to be ready for them. We need to stand together. With you to lead us, milady, I reckon we can do it. It was you who finally convinced me, Clive. There's no point following orders if they go against everything you believe.
Indeed.
All of us. That has always been Northreach's best hope. And one which still we have only to turn our attentions to the true. Thank you, Philippe, for showing me what I...
Anything for you, milady. Speaking of standing together, would you mind if I borrowed a few of the lads from the Vale to help keep watch around the town? I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks in mind for the guard.
Not at all. Be my...
Wouldn't be the first time.
Beleza.
There may be hope for Northreach yet. Especially with men like you and Philippe to champion our cause. I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke. In the stubborn belief that but I suspect I shall have to call upon your aid again. Until then,
Until then.
Até logo, Isabelle. Missão concluída. Ainda ganhamos uns guil, ó. Daqui a pouco a gente tá com 350 mil guil, hein? Beleza. Vamos lá, vamos dar uma olhada nas quests aqui.
Momento curiosidade. O personagem Sid em Final Fantasy virou uma marca registrada do jogo. Sid aparece ou foi mencionado em quase todas as edições do jogo, quase sempre ligado ao conflito principal do jogo, mas em cada representação mostra um Sid diferente.
No 15, se eu não me engano, o Cid, ele é o ferreiro, né? Ele é o cara lá que constrói suas armas e tal, né? No 15, no 1 eu não lembro quem ele é. O famoso faz tudo, é. Aqui o Cid é um baita personagem importante pra caralho, mano. Que é o... O Icon lá do Ramur. Ó. Toda hora ele acaba sendo citado, o Cid. E a gente meio que pegou o nome dele, né? Cid fora da lei aqui nesse jogo. Da hora. Curiosidade legal.
They've lived their whole lives in servitude, but now they're their own masters. Small wonder they ain't got the foggiest how to provide for themselves. So it's up to us to teach them. And if you're wondering why you, well, the wagoneers taking supplies up that way have been coming back with more and more reports of Akashic around the village of late. Sir Wade's putting a brave face on it, but I think even he's starting to worry. And if he's likely to share those concerns with anyone, it's you.
Tudo bem. Vai dar 50 de prestígio.
Thanks. Wouldn't ask if I didn't have to. There. That should be enough to keep him in Gazal Greens for a few years.
Sorrisinho do Clive.
It's not the most mouth-watering crop, I'll admit. But they're hardy, they grow fast. Better that than something that'll wither away at first frost. And chocobos love them too, which is no small thing. When I say all of us need to pull together to get Eastpool back on its feet, they ain't exactly succulent, but cook 'em right and they're just...
I'll take your word for it.
E cozinhar direitinho, elas ficam aceitáveis.
I'm sure you will.
Deixa eu ver se dá pra meter um TPzão lá. Tá. Agora tá sendo habitado aqui de novo, ó, legal. E aí, Wade?
Ah, Lord Rossfield, what brings you to Eastpool?
A delivery from Martha.
Sementes de Gisal.
These are Gizal. Martha's keen to cut the apron strings then, is she? I jest, of course. You see, I had thought we might be able to, but they'd long since gone to seed. Only without the seed.
Martha was hoping you might be able to show the bearers how to plant and tend these, so that they'll be able to fend for themselves.
That's not a bad idea. These bearers had only recently escaped their bonds before we brought them here. They know little of freedom, of providing for themselves and their loved ones. Unless we teach them how to live like free men, I fear that all we have achieved in bringing them here is to exchange one master for... Not that myself and the Guardians have been the best example to them so far, subsisting almost entirely on Martha's charity as we do. It's about time we all start to provide for ourselves, bearers and... Unfortunately, we've been a little too busy of late to focus on much besides bolstering our defenses. There have been alarming reports of...
The Horde is closing in. They're coming, so wait, all of them.
Time it all. I thought we'd have more time. Gather the men in the square. Send to the rest for reinforcements.
Yes, Sir Wade.
The Horde.
A Kashek, a veritable legion of them. They've been seen prowling around the northern reaches for a while. We don't have the numbers to hold back a swarm that size. I had hoped to build a perimeter wall so that myself and the Guardians might be able to defend...
Now you're out of time.
Precisely. If reinforcements from the rest arrive before they do, we may just scrape through, but I fear...
What if you could call on reinforcements from east...
You mean the bearers? We brought them here so they might live, not die, fighting for their lives.
So wait. You said you lack men to defend the village. Are the bearers not men? Do they not wish to see Eastpool saved, though they may not be trained soldiers like your Guardians? What help they are able to offer could still prove the difference between victory and defeat.
You're right.
Tá todo mundo pra lutar.
My friends, I humbly beg your aid. We Guardians are few and our enemies many. But I swear we can defeat them with you at our side.
Ninguém quer.
Us to the slaughter. To serve as bait for those fiends so that you and your men might be spared.
Pior que não.
We trusted you. Say what you will. A home is not worth dying for.
But it is worth fighting for.
Eita, Martinha chegou.
Sir Wade fights to give you lot a chance. Just like I do. Just like Sid does. We all wanted to give you a home where you could be free. And you got one, didn't you? This place, Eastpool. This is your village. Your home. And if you don't fight to protect what's yours, you'll lose it. You know I'm right. This world wants to take everything from you. Everything. Your homes, your freedom, your very lives. So then, Are you going to stand by and let that happen to you? Are you going to accept fate like good little Bran did and die, having never stood up for
A
yourself?
Marta bateu o pau na mesa. Que isso?
Like free men and women.
Botou a panela na mão dela. Que isso, cara?
What are you doing? All right. Give me a sword. I never dreamt I'd have a home of my own. And now that I have, I don't want to lose it.
É isso.
I will protect what's mine, or die trying.
É isso, porra.
We all will. Free men and women, fighting together. For Eastpool!
For Eastpool!
Thank you, Martha.
Don't mention it. Just promise me one thing. That you'll show them how freeborn fight.
Gladly.
Bora.
Well, if it was numbers you were lacking, you certainly won't be now.
Thanks to you.
Me? Oh, I just love the sound of my own voice.
Lord Rossfield, my lady.
So what's the plan of action?
We'll divide our forces into several small detachments, each made up of guardians, bearers, and guards from the rest. These will position themselves at strategic points around. Upon engaging with the Akashic, each detachment will keep the creatures occupied as best they can, steadily retreat.
You're going to lure them into the village?
I am. We will have neither the time nor the resources to treat the wounded, so injuries must be avoided at all costs. Instead, we will focus purely on defense at first. By coordinating our withdrawal through the use of messengers drawn from among the bearers, we will aim to have the swarm converge at a point of arch. With luck, that point will be the village square. The perfect place for our most able warriors to surround them and fall upon, and for you and I to finish them off.
A sound plan, but one that'll require a leader with a cool head and strong nerves to coordinate. I'd say you have both in abundance, await, but you'll be needed. Please, leave the last of the fighting to me.
Ha! And let you have all the glory.
Sir Wade! There.
Then you know what you must. We work together. Everyone playing, each shielding the other, that no man might fall. That Eastpool might live. For Rosaria!
For Rosaria!
For Rosaria!
We've no time to argue, my lord. I'll do as you are.
And I will do as you ask.
Suppose we'd better do our bit too then, eh?
Right you are.
Vou atrair os bichos pra cá.
Calm before the storm.
Aí eles aí, ó.
And here it comes. I will not let this village fall. Farewell. You're finished.
Beleza.
Over here. Stay down.
Caralho, é inimigo que não acaba mais, mano. Caralho, acabei metendo um parry sem querer no Chocobo, velho. Meti um parryzão sem querer, velho. Ele tacou o fogo, eu só levantei o braço. Caralho, 1260 de XP, só a batalha, tá ligado? A quest nem acabou ainda.
Lord Rossfield.
Mudança de planos?
Owl from the rest. An Akashic curl's been sighted on Rhiannon's right and is headed in their direction.
Well, the better half of her guard is here. So wait, how many Akashic remain in Eastpool?
Hard to say. My men are still facing some resistance, but I think the worst is... I could order a detachment or two to fall.
No. Let them finish the... You stay here too, so wait. Your men need you. I'll go after the curl. Join me only when Eastpool is won.
If may the Father protect you.
Eu vou lá, deixa comigo. Não é tão longe, não. Pô, se o Clive corresse, né? Ajudaria pra caralho.
Next one's mine.
Ele vai no tempo dele, né? Foda. Nego se fudendo lá. Ele vai devagarzinho. Tô chegando. Eita porra.
There it is. With me, Togo.
Aê, aranha! GG. O 43 vem, hein?
All right. Back to Eastpool.
Aleluia, demorou, mas foi isso, velho. Conseguimos proteger o vilarejo, mano.
Lord Rossfield, the Curl, is it?
It's dead.
Igor tá com carinha de sono.
Thank the Founder for that. And for you, my lord. We were able to eradicate the rest. I have guardians posted around the village to keep watch for further attacks, but all seems quiet for now. I hesitate to say it, but
I think it might.
We saved Eastpool.
Mas eu tô pouco,
my friends. Thank you.
No, Sir Wade. It's us. You brought us together. Showed us what it means to fight for...
We never had nothing to call our own before. We didn't know, but now we do. We really...
Forgive us, Sir Wade. You and your people saved us. And still we doubted you. But there's no doubt in my mind
Daqui a
anymore.
pouco desabilita o stack.
Men now. So we have to start acting like it. We have to fight to protect what's ours. To protect Eastpool.
And we shall. We all, this is our home.
Jamais.
And if anyone or anything tries to...
Enquanto tiver rolando Final Fantasy, o stack está vivo, Eduardo.
Come on then. Let's get to work.
This village isn't gonna rebuild itself.
Vambora.
They're not slaves anymore.
No. They're Rosette. Your father took pity on the bearer's plight, and I believe if he were still with us today, this...
I believe you might be right.
I shall remain here, my lord, and do what I can to help rebuild the village. After all, this is my home now too. And I could hardly call myself an Eastpoolian if I didn't pull my weight.
I think you'll find it's Eastpudlians. But you should be proud all the same. I'll have to pull my weight too. Can't have the rest getting outclassed. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting...
Can we continue to count on your support, Martha?
Of course. And I'll be counting on us Rosarians have got to stick together, haven't we?
Indeed we have.
And Clive, come by the Golden Stables when you get the chance. I ain't paid you for delivering them seeds yet.
All right.
Beleza. Porra, e tudo isso começou com quest de semente.
Do you remember our very first mission together?
Claro que lembro, Wade.
Goblins from the Stillwind Marshes.
How could I forget?
There's one sight that I shall never forget. You, facing off against... Since that day, there have been more than a few times when I felt like giving up. When the odds seemed so stacked in the enemy's favor, I thought I may as well just lay down my sword and surrender. But every time, I would think back to the look in your eyes that day and remember what it means to be a shield. Know that whatever trials Eastpool may face, I shall never lose courage. Thanks to you.
So Wade, you have always been a true shield. I know that Eastpool, and indeed all of Rosaria...
Thank you, my lord. I know the rest of the world will be safe in yours.
Da hora, da hora. Essa quest foi legal. Vamos lá entregar a quest pra Marta. Entregar não, né? Pegar os nossos recursos. Finalizar a quest.
The hero? It's lucky you came by when you did. Not only did my seeds get delivered, but you went and saved Eastpool and...
I just did what I could.
And it's only right that you take it.
Thank you, Martha.
Valeu, Martinha.
So, Eastpool's finally back on and a home to free bearers. Who'd have thought we'd see the day, eh?
Well, it was your idea.
I know that, but I never stopped to think what it would mean. Bearers in charge of themselves, thinking for themselves, working for themselves. Like your hideaway, but not even though I suppose the rest ain't much different nowadays. You know, bearers living free like that. Reminds me of when I first loath as I am to recall that particular day.
I take it you didn't always see eye to eye.
Well, if you really want to know, I started doing what I do. In fact, that's how I met him. Or at least how he He showed up at the stables one day, asking questions about who'd been buying up. Founder knows what he thought I was doing with them. Running a hunt, poking around in their innards. Me, I thought he was a new constable. Thought the game was up. But somehow we both managed to work, and before I knew it, the cheeky arse was rattling on at me about how I was doing it all wrong. After all, told me I was giving them relief, but not freedom. That my bearers were still dying as slaves. Got right under my skin, it did. Told him if he didn't like it, he could bugger off and report me to the garrison. And do you know what he did? He smiled, and then I did the same. We made a pact that day, that whenever one of us was in need, the other would always be...
And you were?
Well, we both wanted the same thing. To make life just like your dad. Do you know I was born right around the time Elwyn became Archduke? Growing up, he certainly didn't lack for ambition.
Indeed. But the loftier one's ambitions, the harder they are to achieve. Which is why those of us who follow in their footsteps need to finish what people like Sid and my father started.
Suppose you're right. And if we don't manage it, there's always them who come after. Good thing we've got a few half-decent sorts waiting in the wings, eh? It's almost enough to give you a little... Anyway, enough...
Martinha fala bem, né?
Better get back to work. Let's see about making everyone some dinner, shall we?
Caralho.
Who saved Eastpool deserve is a hot meal. And you and me ain't gonna save the world on an empty stomach neither.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Porra, meu irmão. A porra voltou pra 5 horas, então, né, que... Os caras são doideira aí, velho. Para pam 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 para. Beleza. Igor vai trabalhar. Porra, e não é pouco, meu irmão. E não é pouco. Que beleza! Aqui peru na portuguesa. Ai, caralho! E aí, meu mano, Lobo?
Clive! To what do I owe the pleasure?
I just wanted to see how the town's been faring since you brought everyone together.
Since we brought everyone together...
Caraca, que piruzão, Zezé.
All is absolutely wonderful. Conrad and Natalie's hands remain safely away from each other's throats and firmly at the helm. Our stores are full and the bandits still too disorganized to raid them. Just as
Meu nem existe, é porque tem o delay do bot.
Lord Underhill intended.
Are you a lord? Lubor's going to be one too. They're going to make him the Lord of Dalimil because of how he stopped all the grown-ups from fighting.
It's the mayor of Dalimil, dear child, and the vote hasn't taken place just yet. But if the people wish me to lead them, I shall. And my first act will be to build a school so that menaces like you two learn not to interrupt your elders. Speaking of menaces, there may be a rather worrying one just over the horizon.
May there indeed.
I'm afraid the example Conrad and Natalie set in putting aside their differences and presenting a united front might have caught the bandits' attention. And they might have elected to take a similar approach. They have formed what one could call a League of Outlaws. And they grow more organized.
Caralho, o cara pegou 99 de pica.
We'll fight them all off just like last time. No matter how many of them
Outro pegou a roleta, caralho, que doideira.
Of course we will. If we continue to work together, we can overcome any challenge we choose to face. The longer we avoid facing this one, the more difficult it will be. Until the only way
Dessa vez ele sabia mesmo.
Be to run for the hills. Our best hope is to nip these efforts at organization in the bud by finding those ne'er-do-wells who have yet to join the cause and ensuring that they never do. Perhaps a certain Lord Underhill might be willing to lend us his aid once more?
Como eu poderia recusar, meu amigo?
How could I refuse?
Thank you, my lord. Victor will fill you in on the particulars. I have him stationed by the desert gate, receiving and collating reports from my scout.
I'll go and speak with him.
Como é que eu poderia recusar, gente boa? Vou mexer nos negócios aqui. Diminui o tempo de recarga de Fúria Terrosa em 13,5 segundos. Fúria Terrosa é qual? O Fúria Terrosa é a skill mais pica aqui que tem, ó. Do Titã. Qual que eu uso? Punho Colossal e Cataclismo. Deixa eu mexer um pouquinho na minha build. Aumenta o dano do punho colossal em 10%. Chamas ascendentes e ciclone escarlate. Diminui o tempo de recarga de chamas ascendentes em 2 segundos. Pô, e ela já volta rápido, né? Aumenta o dano de ímpeto de chamas ascendentes. Interessante, hein? O aumento de dano dessa parada aí é interessante. Aumenta o dano do ímpeto de chamas ascendentes. É legal. Vou botar. Vou dar um pouquinho essa build.
Easy. One of them swing.
A League of Outlaws. Sounds like we have some competition.
Só nos itens, né? O moveset continua o mesmo.
Still in Dalamil, Victor?
Ah, Sid.
I thought you'd have returned to Cosnis by now.
I did. Then I came back. I developed something of a fondness
Preciso tomar um café.
And having worked so hard to see it saved from one fate, it would seem remiss to abandon it to another. A sentiment Master Lubor certainly isn't shy about exploiting. Hence my doing...
You're not the only one.
What does he want you to do?
He asked for my aid in putting down the bandits.
Then you've come at just the right time. I was on my way to speak with Conrad about how to organize our forces. There are more camps in the vicinity than we can safely strike at once. But we must strike together, and we must strike soon, at as many camps as we can. We can't give this league of theirs time to...
All right. Which camp shall I take?
There's one upriver. Just out there.
Leave it with me.
Deixa comigo, my brother. Bora.
Those ne'er-do-wells want to band together.
Safe. Não.
Too slow. Nice try.
Safe. Vambora.
That must be the camp Victor mentioned. Come on then, Toggle.
Vamos chegar arregaçando já, hein?
That's him. The one who killed Lot and Finger. Take his head off.
Putz, tem um mago. Safe. Para pa 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 para.
Sid, where are you?
Chegou rápido, hein, Victor? Nem demorou não, viado.
No, but...
No. Something's happened.
What is it?
The whole town's in up, saying that Lubor...
What?
Seems that one of our parties wasn't as thorough as they should have been. They let one of the bandits escape, and his escape route took him. Some of the children spotted him, and he was about to silence them. And when Lubor felled him with a bolt of magic and without a crystal.
But that's not possible.
It is, if he's a bearer and has been hiding it all these years. Which is what people are saying. If he
what
had,
the
well,
fuck?
I wouldn't blame him. No man is still. All those people see is a man who's lied to them all his life. One who has made a leader of himself when the world believed he should... Fuck. I don't know where we go from here. But I know one thing. Lubor needs all the friends he can...
You're right.
Vamos lá, vamos ver essa porra aí. Assim, cara, o cara é um portador, velho. Não tem nem como, mano. Na verdade tem, né? Mas, porra, não, velho.
And now everyone knows.
Ah, é sim, ó.
I made it a habit to keep a crystal close at hand for just such an occasion. And when that occasion arose, I forgot to reach for it. Well, it was bound to come out sooner or later.
Ah, ele é um portador, então.
Sorry, Lubor.
A fome que eu tô aqui comeria até uma pessoa.
We just couldn't anymore.
There's nothing to be sorry for. I rather enjoyed playing the hero for once. All that matters to me is that you two are safe.
Look at him talking to his betters like it's nothing. All lies, I'll wager. Just like the ones he fed us all these years.
Once people make up their minds, it's hard to change them. We need to do something, and quickly. Convince the people not to let their prejudices blind them. Convince them that nothing has changed. That our enemy lies outside these walls, not within them.
You're right. We should speak to everyone.
I'm glad you agree. I'll handle the townsfolk. I'm a Dalmek born and bred. They listen to me. You head to the tavern. Make Conrad and Natalie remember who Lubor really... They know that Lubor and I are friends. I might not make for the most impartial of interlocutors. Lord Underhill of Randalar's League of Merchants, however, is a trusted and impartial mediator of note.
I'll do what I can. Lubor, stay here with the children. I can't promise anything, but we'll try.
And that is all I can ask of you.
Tentar salvar o Lubor aí, cara, que esse cara é gente boa, velho.
Why you taking the bearers?
Why do they always have to make such a fuss?
You all along that he...
Forgive me for disturbing you, but could I have a moment of your time?
I've seen your face before.
As have I. Lord Underhill, wasn't it? Of the League of Merchants.
That's right. I wanted to speak to you about Lubor.
The rumors that he's a bearer. All true, I'm afraid.
He'll never be mayor now. Not if I have anything to do with it.
But what of his wares? Bearer or no, his steel is highly valued throughout the Republic. In this at least, he's done the town a service. Might that not earn him a little leniency?
Leniency? He pretended to be one of us when he was laughing behind our backs all the while.
I'm sorry, my lord, but he lied to us. He lied to you. He cannot be trusted.
So what do you propose? Will you drive him from his home? Close his...
Perhaps. That is a question, and they will thank you not to get involved.
O que será que o povo vai decidir, mano?
The townsfolk have made their minds up. There was nothing I...
Nor I. Conrad and Natalie refused to consider anything but their own wounded pride.
You never know. Once their anger is cooled, they might see things differently. For now, we should report back.
All right.
Caraca, que bad, mano. O Lubor deu mole também, poderia ter usado o cristal. Esqueceu, né?
Assume the situation is hopeless.
There's still hope. But...
Boa!
But perhaps not in this lifetime, I think it's fair to say.
You mustn't think like that, Lubor. Give them time. They'll come. We'll talk some sense into them in the end. You'll see.
No, you won't. And your efforts would be better spent elsewhere.
But Lubor...
Rosina would often tell me that steel does not lie. That a blade is a reflection of the smith who forged it. To yourself be true, that was her point. Rather an ironic one when you consider that her life was taken with a blade of her own making. But I do not doubt that she was always true to herself and what she believed in, right to the end, and so must I be. I must do what I know to be right, no matter what others might think of me.
Boa.
And now, I know what that is. I must embrace my new role of villain so that the people of Dalamil have something to unite against. For only united can they hope to stand against the threat that awaits them. I'll need to make a suitably dramatic exit, of course.
Go, Lubor. You're the only one who was ever kind to us.
Tadinhos, mano.
Trust me, little ones. It is for the best that I go. Not only for the town, but for you, too.
How could it possibly be for the best? These children need you. The least you can do is give the townspeople a chance to change their minds.
I would not take it, Victor. It's over.
Over, you say? And so just like that, you're going to throw this town and these children to the wolves? I thought you were better than this. But it seems you had me fooled as well.
Victor.
Forget it. Do what you will.
You sure you're making the right choice, Lubor? Of those available to me, I believe it's the best one. Ah, but where are my manners? Here. A reward for clearing out that... Right then. I have packing to do. If there's anything I can do, I'll bear it in mind.
Caramba, mano. Doideira. Caralho, estamos quase passando de level, velho. Pô, as quests estão começando a dar XP pra caramba, velho. Mas também estamos precisando de XP pra caramba pra passar de level. Mais uma aqui, ó. Tá boa. Ai, aquele maluco lá que o Joshua trocou ideia com ele e o Clive não gostou muito, tá ligado? Caralho, nem lembrava desse cara, velho.